my greatest pleasure that I get to introduce this young lady, Dr. Mary Ann Dewan, the Santa Clara County Superintendent of Schools, who has served in education for over 33 years. Her distinguished work in education, reform, and change leadership is grounded in her commitment to serve the community and underserved vulnerable youth, and a mission that is centered around diversity, inclusion, equity, and social justice. A strong advocate for the expansion of early learning services, health, and education. Dr. Dewan believes in providing each and every child opportunities that promote high quality, equitable, and inclusive experience. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Mary Ann Dewan. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Denise. It is really a pleasure to be with all of you this afternoon. Just have a few opening remarks as we want to highlight and share about the Global Exchange Program. And I'm really delighted to be here with this group of leaders and community partners and statewide leaders who share in our commitment to digital equity. Digital equity seeks to equip everyone with the technological capacity to participate in our increasingly digital world. And I think that's true for all of us. It's true for our employees in the workforce, the learners, our community members, and all of our residents. And it's also about the quality of a person's engagement with technology. Digital equity spans a multitude of divides that include access, connectivity, digital readiness, and digital use. And as more of our schools are confronting these digital divides and are investing in resource and systems, the education community and our educators are turning to digital literacy to focus and extend our digital equity efforts. We want to ensure a range of skills that enable people to become informed users of technology, to learn, to create, to communicate, and to think with digital tools, and practicing digital citizenship and supporting digital learning experiences for our students to model positive online behavior and encouraging our students to deploy technology in innovative ways. By doing this, we can personalize learning, we can empower with critical thinking and problem solving, and coalesce around resources, documenting relevant information, and producing creative solutions and artifacts. By collaborating and communicating through technology, our youth can engage with peers and expand their learning networks far beyond the school walls. This year, the Santa Clara County Office of Education proudly partnered with the Silicon Valley Education Foundation, Fisher Middle School, from the Alum Rock Elementary School District, and the Canadian International School in Singapore. Together, we created a global exchange education program that connected students from Fisher Middle School and the Canadian International School, peer-to-peer connections far beyond the school walls. Both the SCCOE and the Silicon Valley Education Foundation have a shared goal of bridging the digital divide and creating relevant and meaningful learning experiences for students during the pandemic, and we hope that will extend long after. The purpose of the online Global Exchange Education Program is to help 7th and 8th grade students learn how to use technology effectively and engage with others in project-based learning, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and language development. Despite the time difference, these students connected through synchronous virtual meetings to exchange their name, origin stories, and cultures with each other. And at the end of the program, each student produced an ebook biography of his or her ePal from the exchange school, signifying the importance of the connections they made in developing an artifact. Students learned about each other, created an authentic cultural experience, and created a community in a virtual setting. They developed language skills and increased their global, cultural, and technological competence, which resulted in more engagement and motivation. I would now like to invite you to hear from some of the students and educators who participated in the Global Exchange Program. They will share one word that describes their experience and their reasons for choosing that word.
Be memorable because I spent like these past few weeks learning about my partners and their cultures, and it was like a very fun experience overall that I I will probably never forget. So that's probably why I chose memorable.
Connection. It's very simple things like the internet connections that our Fisher Middle School students have or not during the session, that some of them have to always logging out and then trying to get back every single time when there's an internet access problem. Or it's the cultural connections that our students are able to build.
Fun because I really like interacting with other people from a different country from me.
Is challenging. I would choose this word because global projects involve team members from various cultures and organizations spread in locations across country and time zone.
This expedition. We are on an expedition to explore global connections and cultural experiences.
Eye-opening, and I choose this word is because I meet many friends that has the same age like me, and they are in America, and I learn a lot of things about their cultures
Is
and
collaborative because the project pushes the boundaries of international student interaction, working together, enabling students to connect with new peers, learn about their cultures, and extend their learning curve of technological skills.
Project is engaging. I would choose this word because in this program we get to interact with really nice students from another country. We also get to make new friends and learn about other people's lifestyle. It was very interesting to talk with CIS students, and this program made this project really fun.
Interest, because if you have the same interest with other, it's more easier to communicate with them. And also it is a very easy way to make friends with someone else.
Project is different. I would choose this word because I've never done something like this before, and it was really fun.
Is lucky. I would choose this word because I'm lucky to be friends with people from across the ocean and we can communicate with each other.
Interconnectivity. I would choose this word because of all of the connections we've been able to make during this time and during this program, students across the world being able to connect and learn about each other, students being able to use technology in this way to make these connections.
I would say awesome. How often do students have this experience, right, where they're able to partner up with other students from another country and really get to know each other, learn about each other's culture, about their country, likes, dislikes. I mean, it's awesome.
Wow, what such a powerful testimonial. And I think you heard through the words of those who participated many of the things that we lift up as values around digital equity and our digital Bill of Rights, what we want for all of our youth. So now I'm going to invite Vee Nguyen, Associate Director, Silicon Valley Education Foundation, to continue the program.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It is my honor to present to you our awesome panel, the minds behind the mind behind this awesome program that just, came out from the midst of the pandemic. So first of all, I would love to introduce you again, Denise William, our Chief Program Officer. And then I would also like to introduce to you Dr. Yiwan. She is the Director of School Climate Leadership and Instructional Services Department at the Santa Clara County Office of Education. Well, we can't just partner without a school. So would love to introduce Dr. George Clinton, the principal at Fisher Middle School. He's the man that says, awesome. And last but not least, we would love to bring to you Mr. Richard Poulton. He is the Foundation Program Coordinator, calling from Singapore right now at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Got a shout out to him. All right, please welcome our panel for today. Well, I get the pleasure and the privilege to work with these great minds on a weekly basis to create this program. But I think for those who first heard about this program, it almost sounds like a unicorn. How did this happen in the midst of the pandemic? So I would like to address this question to you, Denise, and perhaps tell us a little bit about the inspirations behind the creation of the global program. Michael.
So right before the pandemic, SVEF was asked to oversee and expand School2Home project here in Northern California. I immediately saw an opportunity for innovation, especially with this challenging aspect of the pandemic that we were encountering. The inspiration came from my passion to enhance student learning and engagement while supporting their technological growth. This opportunity also lended itself to a global educational space to innovate through project-based learning, design thinking, which amplifies SVF's mission and vision of providing access to college and STEM careers for students further from access and opportunity. And then add on the importance of students pronouncing each other's name correctly. And then you have this amazing initiative that I joined in with the county and with Yiwan a few years back on My Name, My Identity. And this nationwide work that was started then was able to be sustainable as the students started to learn about each other's culture and why it was so meaningful for them, their names were so meaningful, and why it's important for you to be able to pronounce my name correctly and that kind of thing. So all of these things that I brought in with me to the foundation, this was like another way to launch this work and bring together more students, educators, partnerships, connecting locally and across the country.
All right. Well, you kind of mentioned about Dr. Yiwan. So I'm going to popcorn that over to her. That I guess because of both of your connections for a long time, creating I guess Global Exchange Program 2.0 during COVID was just natural.
Yeah, so I would like to state that one of the priorities at the Santa Clara County Office of Education is being responsive to the issues that are related to the pandemic. So earlier, Dr. Dewan had already mentioned about the digital equity piece. So as Denise approached the county office for the partnership, we also identified the issue of student engagement. Because during the pandemic, we are concerned about how engaged, students feel like connecting to learning in a very meaningful way. So as we began the conversation about the partnership, we really focus on the global education framework, which is a research-informed approach in structuring instruction with a focus on investigating the world, understanding multiple perspectives to communicate effectively, as well as to take actions. We also, as Denise mentioned earlier, we also want to honor students' identity and their culture. So this is definitely a natural connection that will be able to build a super powerful program.
Yeah, and I do want to kind of like, bring California all the way to Singapore to Mr. Rich. We called him Mr. Rich because that's his name in the classroom. So how did it end up in Singapore out of all the country in the whole wide world?
Yeah, it was a great gift. It's a part of our curriculum to reach out into the community, whether that community is a global community or our local community. But with the pandemic, we were back in school, but Singapore was still very much closed. So going out into the local community was not going to happen. And Dr. Wan and Miss Williams reached out to me, which was, just worked out perfectly. Now knowing the foundation, the Silicon Valley Education Foundation, we can make this happen a lot more in advance. But really, they had reached out to me and made it possible. So I was very fortunate in that sense. Now that I know them, we already have plans for the next ones possibly down the road. So having this connection with them allows us to link up to other schools in America and vice versa. The actual international community is very close knit. So the foundation knows me and they know other teachers. And it's, my friends are teaching in Africa, in Europe, and other parts of Asia. This could be replicated in other parts of the world just as easy as it was in Singapore.
Awesome. I just got goosebumps a little bit. All right. Well, I do want to bring Dr. Clinton into this conversations because he, again, was one of the School2Home principal that was agreed to that's agreed to do this little pilot that didn't really know what it would look like, but he did it anyways. So, I mean, my questions for you is, what do you feel most proud about this, this little program? And mind you, everybody, it's only 8 different sessions that the students get to meet with each other. And later on, we do have our students from both school and the teachers who run these programs later on with us. But I do want to ask you, as an admin, how does running a global exchange program like this logistically work for you, right? Because we know now that the students are living in 2 different time zones, and this is quite different from any other possible program that you probably ran in the past.
Yeah, thank you, V. First of all, I want to thank Santa Clara County Office of Education, Silicon Valley Education Foundation, School2Home, Canadian International School, for giving us this opportunity, because we're here in San Jose, East San Jose, and especially during the pandemic, this has been really exciting for our school and our students, and it's something that we needed during this time. So our partnership has been really great, and what I'm proud of is I'm proud of my students. I'm proud of all the students involved at both school sites. I'm proud of the willingness to open up, getting to know each other, to let their barriers down, let their guard down, and really support each other during this time of need during a pandemic. So that's on the student end, but my teachers drove this initiative, not me. I mean, it's the teachers. It's Catherine Grunwald, my teacher on special assignment. She didn't have to get involved in this project. She wanted to, she saw the need. Same thing with Miss Crystal Madrill, who's our 7th and 8th grade humanities teacher. And then of course, Mr. Rich from our school in Singapore. So it was really about, we gave the framework, or the framework was given, provided, I should say, the structure and the support, definitely 100%. But it's really those 3 teachers that drove this bus and really provided what the students needed, the activities. They would get together on, well, all of us, but mainly them as far as the planning on Friday, what guys, every Friday night. I mean, who's giving up their Fridays for Mr. Rich? I think it was early Saturday morning. So, and I remember even with the time change, we moved it from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Yes, daylight saving, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone involved, gave up something of their personal life for our students. And so to me, that's what I'm proud of is since I've been in education, I really believe in putting students first at the heart of every decision that I have to make as an administrator. And I really think that everyone involved in this program puts students first. So I'm proud of that.
Thank you. And well, since you mentioned a little bit about the other two teachers, I would love to bring in Ms. Madrill. You probably saw her yesterday in both the video and also in the student tech expert room. And Ms. Grunwald, who you probably met her at the teacher professional learning room. And I would love to kind of bring them in this conversations before our student join us, because I think this group that you're looking at was the team that made this experience happen, right? And I do have one last question before we bring the students in, and this question is back to you, Denise. If there and maybe to you too, Yi, that if there are schools out there in Southern California that is a part of the School2Home network and they would like to replicate this global exchange model, what will be the secret sauce?
Mhm. So I would say that the secret sauce is just to reach out to the foundation and being, you and I, so that we can meet up with them and explain all the components and all of what they need to do to move forward. To give them some background and also learn about the importance of the leadership that comes from the teachers and of course the site administrator, because as Dr. Clyden said also earlier, that's very important. It cannot move forward without a strong leadership team, and get parents excited about it also, because it is those parents need to know, my child it's the end of the day and they're still in this other meeting or whatever, but they were really supportive in getting permission slips back. So, what are all the ins and outs that we need to know? So we are ready to move forward. So just reach out, put your name in the chat if you'd like, or pass it on. We're here. What do you think, Yi?
Absolutely. And I would also like to add from that curriculum lens, as we are doing our planning, we always put our students in the center of that learning experience from that equity lens. We want to make sure that we build in games and activities that make the social, emotional, cultural, and personal connection with our students. We are supporting the whole child. So again, I want to echo Dr. Clyden, is putting students first. So that's something that we feel really, really proud.
Thank you so much. And I do want to use this space, and we keep talking about students. Of course, everybody want to see the students. So I would love, again, to bring in all of our students into the panel. First of all, we have Tale Resafong. I hope I pronounced her full name correctly. She is a student from Fisher Middle School. And then we also want to welcome Renee Estrada, another student from Fisher Middle School, and Sora Lee, Shan Yu Xianqi, students from the Canadian International School all the way in Singapore. And of course, got a shout out to them because again, ladies and gentlemen, it's only like 6 or 7 a.m. all the way in Singapore, and it's on a Saturday night. I mean, a Saturday morning, right? So please, everybody, welcome all our students into this conversation. But prior to us, I think our team trying to spotlight the students, I do want to ask both Ms. Madrill and Ms. Grunwald to again share with us a little bit about your role. How were you involved in this, again, little, I would say it's like a little pilot, right? It is a pilot. So how are you involved with this?
I'm just unmuting first. So I think that I feel that was very lucky to be part of School2Home. And then as this collaboration was happening, Denise was talking about it with us during some of our team meetings, talking about some of the School2Home components and planning for the year. And as that was being developed, we just happened to be part of that conversation. And so I just feel that we are very lucky to be part of that. And then for Katie and I think that next piece, once it started going, was really trying to recruit some of our students to do this. Oh.
Yeah, and students, do me a favor, turn on your camera, because I do get a little cue from my team that if you don't turn on your camera, we can't really see you. All right, I think we see Sean over there. I'm still waiting for Renee and Tale and Sora. There you go. I think we yay! Okay, we're able to see them a little bit. All right, and then back to you, Miss Renwall.
Yeah, so a little bit about my role. I am the, it's kind of a long, clunky title, VILS, Teacher on Special Assignment, and VILS is the Verizon Innovative Learning Schools. And this is our 4th year, our final year with the VILS program, a grant program. And in my work, I spend a lot of time coaching teachers with technology integration, but a huge component of the VILS program is that focus on student engagement, student competence, student agency, and those authentic learning experiences for students. So that is kind of one of my favorite parts of my role, is that it's at the intersection of working with teachers and directly impacting students.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to stop share screen a little bit so that we can see a little bit full blown of our entire team of so many people now. And now we would love to get the chance for you to hear directly from our students. So I guess I'm just going to ask Sora. Hi, Sora. Tell us a little bit about yourself. It must be so early for you now, but hey, please tell the audience who you are and what did you like about this program?
Hi, my name is Sora and I live in Singapore, going to Canadian International School, and I'm 13 years old. In this global exchange program, I like to learn about my international school, international friends who in California, and I can know that about their culture or what they like or interest in.
Thank you. And I know that your partner is here too, Tale. Hey, Tale, tell us a little bit about yourself and what did you like about this program?
My name is Tale Rasi Tong. I am 12. I live in California. My favorite color is sage green and brown. What I liked about the Global Exchange Project is I got to interact with people I never met before. I made new friends, and it's especially nice actually meeting someone that's from another country, because usually meet friends from somewhere where you're from, like California. I think it's pretty great. I love that I got Sora. She's very nice and sweet, and she's very collaborative.
Thank you. Oh, there you go. That's like a little compliment for you, Sora, directly from your ePal. And for those who are joining in with us for the entire durations of the 8 sessions, all the Canadian international students were actually in the classroom. So they have to wear a mask. So none of us get to see what Sean or Sora actually look like. So this is great, right? So Sean, hey, good morning. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And again, same questions. What did you like and enjoy from this program?
I was a 40 years old boy from China, and now I'm living in Singapore and learning CS. I learned a lot of my EPOS countries and the culture about them, and it's really improved my English.
Yay! Well, I'm so glad that you're able to join us today. So this is like good public skills, like public speaking skills. So good for you. Yay! Well, last but not least, we would love to feature Rie, right? Hi. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, love to know who you are. Tell us a little bit secret about yourself. Like what Talay was saying, her favorite color was, what was it? Green,
Sage
sage
green.
green. Sage green. That's very specific. Yeah. So tell us something about yourself, and what will be the one thing that you're gonna miss so much from this program?
My name is Rianne. My favorite color is baby pink, and I'm 13. One thing I would miss about this project was meeting my partners because they're so nice. And one thing, one of the reasons why I joined this project program was to make new friends, and I'm glad to meet my partners because they were so nice. I learned a lot from this program, so I definitely gained a lot of knowledge from it.
Thank you. Well, it is unfortunately time for us, but what I do want to share with you is a library of all these different autobiographies that these students were able to create for one another. For example, Talay probably created one for Sora, and Sora created another one for Talay. And they share photos so that it looks like an actual autobiography. And our team will put the link in the chat for you so that you can actually go and have an interactive e-book later on during your own time. And I know some of these books are actually bilingual, so it's kind of I was like, what? Amazing. Well, we do want to use this opportunity again to thank all the educators and the students who are able to join us today. And we would love to use this space to again congratulate you for trusting us just to go through this process so that you're able to make new friends, and I'm able to make friends with you too. And these are the certificates that both Silicon Valley Education Foundation and Santa Clara County Office of Education are presenting to you as the representative of the students and the teacher who participated in the Global Exchange program this year. Well, I do hope that our teacher and students calling in from Singapore, you're going to have a good morning, and this conclude our next sessions